Hello, it's Lou Collins. Today I've got a project for you that's quick and easy to do. It might bring some of you a little bit out of your comfort zone. I'm going to be using the new issue of Creative Stamping. Now this is issue 118 and it comes with two fabulous A4 stamp sets. You can see all of these stamps that you're getting with the magazine. It's amazing. We've got florals in here, we've got bugs and butterflies. They're stunning, and each and every one has this kind of fine detail that you could colour in with your alcohol pens if you wanted to. I'm going to do a much quicker way of colouring these in instead. So I'm in love with this bumblebee in the middle. As soon as I saw this, Nikki, the editor, showed this to me a couple of weeks ago, and I said I need that butterfly. So I'm thrilled to be able to actually play with it today. So the technique that I'm going to be showing you, you can actually use this for any of the designs here, any of these stamps. So let's just take this out of the packet. It's all brand new. I've not used it before. I've not practiced with it before either. So this should be fun. So I love how they hold them in as well. I think that's just brilliant packaging. So let's take this off first of all. Pop this away and keep that to the side. So I'm going to put this onto a piece of white watercolour cardstock or paper. I think I'm going to actually have it just slightly, let's have it up the top there, slightly off the edge of the card as well. So I'm going to be needing a stamping platform for this, which I'll just reach over and grab. And the first thing I'm going to do is stamp this where I'd like it in a nice dark ink, but I want an ink that is not going to react with my watercolours. And that would be one of these. This is a VersaFine Clair. I've got it in the black. So Nocturne, it's called, the colour, and this is going to, I think it's an old ink pad actually. I've got a newer one somewhere, but we'll be able to still see the detail, the design. But let's ink all over this. In fact, this is a brand new stamp and I haven't prepped it. Usually what I'd do is take an eraser and I would erase any coating off of this image first of all before I use it, just for the first time. Haven't done that, but I'm sure it'll be fine. They're always really good quality stamps. Look at that. That is absolutely stunning. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to leave that there just for now. It might move slightly, but just in case I need to restamp it in a little while. So now the next thing is for me to add some colour. So I've got myself a blending mat there. It's a little bit dirty, but you know, it's getting there. And I'm going to use Distress Oxides. These are something that lots of us have in our stash, but we don't always bring out for anything other than ink blending. So I'm going to be using Wild Honey, which is a brilliant colour, lovely bright. It's a bright yellow, but it's got a hint of orange in there. Another one that I'd like to use is a Black Soot. Now this in the oxide range is actually more of a grey. It's more of a charcoal colour than a black, which is brilliant. So give this a squirt of water and give this a squirt of water as well. Now, because I want to be quite precise at where I'm putting the colour down here, I'm going to pick this up with a little bit of acetate. Now this is the perfect way to use up things like your scrap packaging and stuff like that. You don't have to use expensive acetate. You're probably not going to reuse it again. Well, you can wash it, of course, you can dry it and you can reuse it for this technique, but you're not going to use it on a project after this. So what I'm going to do is, I've got quite a long strip here, and I'm just going to dip it into my ink there. I'm going to give a spritz of water to my image, and I'm just going, don't worry about the drip, that's fine. I'm just going to press this down around there and keep pressing. I actually really like that droplet there. Let's feed into that a little bit and splodge that out. There we go. So we've got a little bit, just a little bit of inking around there, and it's very loose. It's just a splodge of yellow. I'm just going to wipe this while that's drying slightly, just soaking in, and I'm going to do the same with the grey, but only a little bit of the grey, really a tiny amount. So I want a little bit just there, just round here, just picking up tiny bits, just to really give the yellow a bit of variation in shade and tone, like so. There we go. Okay, so let that dry, let that soak in as much as possible. Now I've not moved my paper and I've not moved my stamp. This means that when that's dry, I can go over and restamp that, and if I want to I can then heat emboss the stamp image as well to really make it stand out. But it's essential now that we just allow that to just dry for a little while. So that's been given time to dry, so I'm now going to go back over with my VersaFine and really make those black lines as solid and dark as possible. Like I say, I haven't moved my paper and I haven't moved the stamp, so that should still line up absolutely perfectly, which is part of the reason for me actually working in my stamping platform. The beauty of that is that you could also use this area here if you wanted to. Now within this we've got some florals. You could go in and you could colour those as well. Now I'm going to do that with some alcohol pens because the alcohol won't react with any dampness that's left in the water. So I'm just going to go in and colour a few of the flowers and a few of the leaves to pick that detail out. There we go, so I've coloured in the flowers and the leaves only, leaving the bumblebee as an outline. I just need to have a look at the sentiments. We've got Be Your Own Kind of Beautiful. I like that one actually. Let's take that one. And I'll show you what I mean by prepping the stamp. So I'll just move these out of the way because I'm going to want to stamp down here. I'll pop the stamp whereabouts I think it should be. I think I'll put it in the middle. We can take the bumblebee away now. Nearly called it a butterfly. There's lots of butterflies included within these sets. So I just need to take an eraser. Now this needs only be a pencil eraser. And I just rub over the top of the surface there, just very, very lightly. And that just gives your stamp a little bit more grip on your ink. So it takes away some of the coating that's left on there from the manufacturing process. And then I'm going to stamp this in black as well. So it's a nice bold sentiment, be your own kind of beautiful. There we go, perfect, love that. Now, all that's left for me to do is to mat this onto probably a grey and a yellow cardstock and then onto a card base. So there's the finished bumblebee with the yellow and grey. They're kind of camouflaged in there with the florals on top. You can pick these out in any colours you like. If you prefer to go for your pinks and your reds, absolutely, whichever suits your favourite colour scheme. I really like using yellow and grey. It's not a colour scheme that I'd usually go for, but of course the natural colours of the bumblebee kind of made me use them to start with, and yeah, I'm really loving them. So I like the ink splodge, but the controlled ink splodge that we managed to get, just focusing on that area where the stamp was by picking it up with the acetate. So you can find this stamp and of course all of the others from Creative Stamping. This is issue 118. You'll find this in the shops now, and if you're a subscriber, of course you'll already have it. So have some fun with this, and I'd love to see what you're making over in the CraftWorld Inspiration Gallery.